Then I'll either get back to Hartley or go over to division. Lord saying nothing?
So far.
Well, I'll keep him on the board, give him something to think about. Don't let him go cold. Otherwise, he might decide to blank his memory.
Right.
Better have a quick look in the van.
Morning, Joseph.
Morning, ma'am.
Tom's back from Hull around noon. Now, the battery was flat on my Mini this morning, must be the damp, so I took his car. If he wanted an I'm out, the car's in the park. Here are the keys.
Right.
These tellies you rang me about?
Yes, and something else has cropped up, ma'am.
Right. First, the tellies. What was the value?
Approximately £6,000. Mr. Logan's over at Hailston. He's coming across.
What else?
The other bit of news is from just down the road. Old Daisy Herrick's disappeared.
Daisy?
Yes, ma'am.
How could she have disappeared?
The next-door neighbour, George Simmons, takes in a milk and yoghurt. He has a key. He went in at 8 this morning. She'd gone. He's phoned his sister over at Oakland. She's coming across.
Well, she wouldn't have gone far in a wheelchair.
That's the worry, ma'am. The wheelchair's still there, but not Daisy.
Well, then she must have gone off somewhere in a friend's car.
He reckons he would have heard any car arriving to pick her up, and none did. I've notified traffic and foot patrols, ma'am.
I hope she's not out in this cold.
Mr. Simmons reckons his sister should be at the house about now, ma'am.
Right, I'll pop down and see them in a minute. Hello.
Hello.
I'm from the local police station, Inspector Darby.
Oh, yes, Daisy's often talked of you. Come in, come in. I'm Elsie Arbon, Daisy's sister. Come through. And this is George Simmons from next door.
How do, lass? Call me George.
Please sit down. Would you like a cup of tea? I was just making one.
No, thank you.
Well, have you found her?
No, not yet, but we're going to, so please don't worry.
But where's she gone? I mean, without a wheelchair. She can only walk a few steps. She goes everywhere in her chair.
Well, the only explanation must be she either booked a taxi or was picked up in a car. We're checking all the local taxis.
Oh, it's a bit odder than that. Apart from the fact my hearing's perfect, I would have heard car draw up at door. Can I explain? I'm just through the wall there.
The Simmons are the greatest pals of our Daisy.
I do a lot of fetching and carrying for her, and my wife, she comes in and does a bit of housework. I tell you this because, well, my wife came in today like she does every day to make bed and wash up Daisy's dishes. But Daisy'd already washed them yesterday or this morning and cleaned kitchen up very carefully. Well, that must be the first time in years. And the bed was made.
I'll get you a cup of tea, George.
And there's another thing, lass. We all know Daisy didn't have money. She kept everything she had in caddy. My wife drew a pension for her and kept an eye on her funds. Well, Saturday morning, she had exactly £9.60 in caddy. And it's still there. So wherever she's gone, she's took no money.
That's important to know.
And there's another thing, lass. Well, I mean, she had a habit of it. Whenever she wanted something, she used to knock on the wall with a walking stick and we'd come straight away. Well, she didn't knock or say she was going anywhere.
Did she ever go out with a friend who collected her in a car?
No, well, not recently anyway. And we know all her friends. And there's a bit more to worry on. I mean, this is important. I do think she's been out of sorts, sort of different these last couple of weeks.
Different? In what way?
Well, she's been rambling on about her life and all that. A different kind of talk than what we usually get out of her.
I think the first thing, whilst my men are out looking for her, is to get an up-to-date check on her health. Does she regularly see a doctor?
Yes, she had to. She needed her heart watched and pills all the time.
Who is a doctor?
Dr. Patel down Elton Parade.
Oh, I know him well. I better contact him. Are you staying around for a bit, Mrs. Halpin?
I'll stay on till you've spotted her. My husband can make his own dinner if need be.
And I'm around here most at time, mostly in back garden. That's me hobby, me garden.
Find her. Fetch Daisy back. I mean, perhaps she's had an accident.
I'll be back to see you later.
Toast? Aye. I've never had it toasted here before. Take it or leave it. I'm not trying to get into where you gone wrong, eh? Special concession, that is.
What is?
You're getting a condemned man's breakfast. What are you talking about, condemned man?
Oh, we know a lot more about you than you think.
What?
Well, you go round masquerading as a petty villain, when in fact you're the big brains.
What?
And now we've caught you red-handed on a job. No two ways about it. We're going to use that, this minor matter of the stolen tellies, to get you for the big one.
Stolen? I didn't know they were stolen. I didn't even know what they were.
The big one, Jack.
What big one?
Oh, come on, you know, the big one. We want to know your part in the big job in the city.
What are you talking about?
Not for me, the answering of questions, Jack. You, talking about the big one. The one that was in the papers. I suppose you'll say you was just the driver.
Almighty God, what are you on at?
What I'm on at, you know well.
Papers? I don't know. No job that got into papers.
You damn well do, and the sooner you start talking about it, the better. I mean, we've always soft-gloved you, Jack, but there is another side to us. We want you for the big one, and we're going to get you.
What big one?
I just told you, you're deaf in the city.
Do you mean the Liverpool job?
Of course, the Liverpool job. You were on that, and don't you dare deny it. And our CID can either stick you with a lot, which is what they plan, or you can tell us who else was involved. Was it the bloke with the fast heels this morning?
No, it weren't him. Here, how did you know about the Liverpool job?
We know everything, Jack. Our business is simply confirmation. We hear, we learn, or we get the rumours about the jobs and the villains. Our job then is to get confirmation. I'll be back when you've eaten. And you'll be using your mouth for another purpose.
You think it'd be simple enough to find out if that number of tellies had been stolen? Hey, there isn't anything for us with old Daisy, is there?
Very unlikely there's a motive for abduction.
I've chatted to her several times, you know. Always find her outside her front door in the summer, sitting in her wheelchair. Always a word for passers-by.
That's right.
The latest on the telly, sir. 3 manufacturers, 9 main distributors. Definitely haven't been knocked off in the north. Now, one of the distributors reckons that some of the serial numbers sound like part of a batch for the West Country, so I've got his stock manager in Bristol ring me back on it.
Right, Bernie.
Could I have a quick word, Mum?
Yes, George.
Mr. Logan. Something very interesting's happened in the cells.
Yes?
Well, you know the old trick when you get the villain bang to right, saying it's the big job you're after.
So?
Well, on the spur of the moment, I said it to Jack. I said, we're interested in the big one, the one in the city, the one that got in the papers. I mean, I was just making it up. And suddenly he blurted out that he was on the Liverpool job.
Liverpool?
Yes, sir. I said he's going to have to talk about the big one, and straight out he mentioned Liverpool.
Well, shall I take over, sir?
No, if he's talking to George, I think George should stay with it. Go and see if he's got anything else to say about Liverpool.
Right, sir. I've talked to the boss.
Who's that?
Chief Inspector Logan.
Oh.
I find him in a generous mood this morning.
Huh?
Don't think you've ever had a proper CID grilling. And he's prepared to give you a moment's breathing space. And you can avoid an all-out grilling, but you've got to come across, Jack.
Come across where?
Come across with information. Like you guessed, it's the Liverpool job we're after, and we're after you. So what are you going to tell me that stops you from copying the lot?
A lot.
The Liverpool job. We've got a result. We've got you for the court. Now, you can either carry it alone or you can name names.
But it weren't really me. I was just nothing on it.
You carry it alone or you name names.
They'll kill me.
Oh, they won't kill you, Jack. Do you know how many colleagues I have in the constabulary?
No.
120,000. Your firm are all big talkers, but we can deal with them. All big talkers, but all little men when it comes to the crunch.
You can't call Jonesy a little man.
Jonesy?
Aye.
Which Jones? There's a dozen Jones. Which one do you call big?
Big Harry Jones.
Big Harry, all height, no brains. Oh, what was he on the Liverpool job? If you're saying you were just nothing, what do you mean you were just nothing?
I were just driver.